Now, after the order of the Garter went off without a hitch on Monday afternoon, royal biographer Angela Levin joins us this morning to catch up on the annual event. Angela, very nice to see you. What is the order of the Garter?
Well, this is something that goes back 700 years. It's unbelievable, and it's all to do with Arthur and the knights around a table.
King Arthur, Knights in the Round Table.
Yes, Knights in the Round Table. It comes from there as far back as that. And it's for people who've done great things for the country. And there's lots of prime ministers in there, ex-prime ministers there this year. And it's all very sort of old-fashioned and rather lovely, as if you're in a theatre and you're watching something. All the costumes and the feathers and all that. But what absolutely fascinated me was that for the first time since 1475, that a woman has got the top notch. And her name is Baroness Eliza Manningham-Buller. She used to be the boss at MI5.
Yes.
And she was given everything first that was going on in the world before even anyone understood in Parliament. So she's absolutely a brilliant woman. And she was there till 2002, I think. And she's now got this wonderful title, Chancellor of the Order of the Garter. But I think it's really good that a woman can actually get that top title, because I think, especially with the royal family, lots of men there, usually they were priests and things like that, but now it's spreading out, and I thought that she was a marvellous sample of that.
I'm just surprised there even was a woman in 1475 who got the post.
No, she didn't. That's right. That's since 1475. There's never been a woman there. She's the first one to get this top post.
Yeah.
And I thought she's absolutely fascinating. She's done so much to stop wars and to pass on information and all that.
Well, nice to see her being utilised in such a way.
Yes, absolutely.
Angela, busy time for the royals. The King looking fit and out and about again. We saw him, of course, at trooping on Saturday alongside his daughter-in-law, the Princess of Wales, who was fabulous to see her back. And it's a busy period for the royals.
Yes,
even though there's an election going on and they're trying to pare it back, they're still very busy.
It's really, really very busy. I mean, King Charles, I don't know quite how he's managing, because he still is having his treatment and he's just working very hard. But I also feel very much about Prince William, about how amazing he has been, because you could see the occasional gesture on Saturday for trooping the colours, when he would put his arm round Catherine and make sure she was all right, especially on the balcony, because I think once she nearly wobbled a bit, and he was there for her straight away. But, you know, you wouldn't notice that on his face. And I think what he's done, you know, with no sign of resentment or passing on his feelings to anyone, he's gone with such dignity. If you just look at it, it was D-Day, footballers, trooping the colour, Order of the Garter and Ascot. And he's been there and he's worked incredibly hard. Nobody would have known anything had happened in his life.
Astride a horse, no less.
Yes, I hope he's dry by now. He got soaking wet.
I know.
And he's just done... I think we're very lucky to have an heir to the throne like that, who is dutiful, loves his family, and he still takes all the children to school in the morning. And you can't really hope for anything more than that, can you? And he's behaved with such dignity. He must be so worried about his father and his lovely wife, and his lovely father, won't miss out the lovely. You know, thank goodness we have somebody like that.
Yeah. It was interesting to see Prince Edward with a prominent role as well. He was aboard a horse as well.
Prince Andrew taught him how to get better at riding. You know, he hasn't got a role within the family, but actually he was asked to do that because he's not very good at riding. And I think that's nice. You know, I think he can be doing that sort of thing without anybody feeling that it's not appropriate.
Well, I wonder what the royals are going to do if the next generation of people aren't armed forces, if they don't join the army or the navy or the air force or whatever.
This is very interesting because Prince William doesn't necessarily want little George to do that. He doesn't feel it's necessary. But it's such a stamp on the royal family, isn't it? And with all the costumes, and they're the head of the army. And so what would they do without that? I find that very difficult. I think it's the same with religion, actually, because he's not religious, William. He does go once or twice a year, but he hasn't got the same passion about religion that King Charles does, and I think it's very difficult. I think it'll be maybe a very changed royal family.
Indeed, yeah. Well, interesting. And we don't know yet who's going to be attending Royal Ascot, but we suspect at the very least the Queen, probably the King and Queen, and maybe even the Prince of Wales as well.
You can't keep the Queen away from horses. I mean, she absolutely loves them. She used to ride them non-stop when she was little. And fascinatingly, her mother never bothered about it because they weren't mobiles then. And she would go off riding for hours and sleep in a field.
Life. What an incredible
childhood. And then
childhood.
come back the next day. She never worried about her. She thought she was sensible. And your mouth opens, you think, good heavens, you know, thank goodness for the mobile today. But she loves horses and she's got a very nice knack with them. You know, I've seen her just stroke them and they sort of, you know, they have a lovely time. She loves animals, dogs and horses. That's one of the things she had very much in common with the late Queen.
Yes, yeah, and there she is at Ascot last year. Well, we hope to see them, I'm sure we will, in the next few days. And lovely to see you. Angela Levin, thanks very much.
Thanks, Angela.